are back again. So now it's the section is career in sports because our guest here is also a wonderful cricketer. I think cricket is his primary. You would be like to defined by it. I think,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
and a Ranji Trophy holder for sure. So that is a big achievement. So yeah, let's delve into this session because I'm sure this will be pretty interesting. His journey with cricket and how it changed and transformed his life and everything. So yeah, moving ahead again, your that's already you have mentioned a little about cricket because without that you cannot
My
go about
story
your
doesn't
story.
starts.
Yeah,
Yes.
starts. But that initial phases with cricket and how that turned into that passion, obsession, and that every that beginning journey and everything.
Well, probably my first love is cricket.
Yeah.
So that's something which I dreamt of.
Mhm.
I still dream of playing. I play even now. I don't want to go and touch on say how old I am, but I'm still playing cricket in Australia. So
Yeah.
that's something nobody could take away from me. But as I told you before, I had a very supporting family and friends and mentors. Um,
So did you take any professional coaching or?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. So I always say, in someone's life, in a kid's life, mom and dad usually, well, not usually, mom and dad gives birth to a baby,
Yeah.
but it's the people around you actually help the baby to grow and nurture. I had some amazing family, friends, and relatives, and my coaches around me, people who came in different times in my lives and helped me shape my life. And this is very important for everyone to have a cohort of people around you, your support staff. Even international cricketers now have a lot of support staff with them, because individually you can only go that far. If you are talented, if you are super talented, you will go that far. Your talent needs to be trained and molded and shaped well, and for that you need that extension of your support system. So I was very lucky in that way that I had some great mentors in my life. My coaches at a very young age, I think I have learned my I could improve my skills because they have taught me the right thing at the right age. At the same time, I learned the importance of hard work at a very young age, because as I told you before, talent can only take you that far. You have to work really hard in sports. um, um, and yeah, it just the coaches who mentored me, and my family members, or the senior cricketers I spoke to all the time. Yes,
Everybody had a part to play. In
absolutely,
some way or the other.
absolutely. And you need that.
Right.
Even I will come back at a different stage when we discuss the next stage about having why it is important to have a mentor or someone whom you can debrief with.
Yeah.
Even in our discussion in this in the sports thing, there are number of times I will mention this.
Okay, about your mentor.
Correct, correct.
About your mentor and
Correct.
everybody. Okay, so that is how that inspiration took you, and then how did you go about for your Ranji Trophy thing? That decision. And
Well,
that commitment.
well, the commitment was the passion I had about sports, and the dedication what I played. I was very honest with my sports. I never lied to myself. I knew my strengths and weaknesses from day one. And as I was growing, and as I was talking to my mentors or my coaches, I started knowing myself better. And it's very important to know who you are. Well, at a very young age, probably not, but as I was growing, as I was thinking of more playing in a professional way, I used to do a lot of not just skill based coaching, but I used to go and read a lot of cricket books at the time.
Alright.
Or because there was not much in internet at that point in time, as you can imagine, but there were a lot of good coaching manuals or coaching books. My coach, Mr. Nabab Ali, used to give us video cassette players back then to watch coaching from international cricketers. We used to do, there was not much thing called video analysis of your playing, but we used to go and watch some old cricketing videos. So there are steps what I have taken. Again, the things have way changed now. You can YouTube it, you can Google up, and there are so much out there.
Yeah.
However, sticking to your basic is very important, I thought, and having a good base, having a very skilled, if you are very strong in your initial periods of your skill-based training, I think that will go a very long way to play professionally. But I took, there are a number of steps. It's not just in, as I told you before, 1993 it all started when I played my, I played for Assam in under-13s. Then in 1995 I played Ranji Trophy, which is state, Assam state for schools. In 1997 I played under 16 Vijay Merchant Trophy, and I became the captain. So I played Vijay Merchant for the first time, and I was offered to be the captain of Assam. That year I played well. I played well, and I was lucky enough to have some good mentors. Again, I was selected to play for East Joint. So that's a team that is comprised of Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, Tripura, and then in 1998 again I played under 16 Vijay Merchant Trophy. I was the captain of Assam. I played East Zone again. That same year I played under 19s Coach PR Trophy. 3 years of under 19s. Played with a lot of international cricketers. Played with a lot of friends. Made some amazing friends during my cricketing journey. Then in 2001 I made into Ranji Trophy.
Ranji Trophy.
And I had some amazing experiences playing with some great talented cricketers from the state and outside. Learned a lot, had some amazing experiences talking to them, sharing my experience and learning from them. I think it's quite different now. When I look back, people do ask me, do you have a photo with Sachin, or do you have a photo with... I said at that time, I think we used to share stories more than taking photos, because it's a different thing. So a lot of people, so I played a lot of cricket with so I trained in Delhi under Mr. Bishan Singh Bedi. Yuvraj's father, Yuvraj Singh, was my coach. So he used to train quite often. We were very good friends along the way. But see, at that time, it's the friendship, it's the fun, it's the banter we used to give each other in the cricket ground. We never thought about actually taking a selfie or a phone or something. So yes, we don't have those kind of memories, but there are so many stories we have.
Stories you have. Can you share any such anecdote or something?
Well,
which you still remember,
I will tell you something interesting, a very interesting story.
Okay.
1997, I was getting ready for my metric exams.
Okay.
I was playing, so usually your metric exam is, our metric grade exam is in, say, February or March, and I was playing in November, December, East Zone. So my dad, because I was playing there, I was in Calcutta, I was playing there. So instead of carrying a whole heap of books, my dad prepared like a notebook where I have got some maths, I've got some English, some social studies happening, some science happening, and so that I don't have to carry everything, so I can just take one book and read. So after we finished our games and we everybody went out after the games, and everybody, like we boys, we always want to go out and joke around, fool around outside. So all the national teams were staying together. The North Zone was staying together. The East Zone was there. The South was there. The Central Zone was there, and you name it. Mohammad Kaif to Gautam Gambhir to Harbhajan Singh, and they were all there. So Harbhajan and Yuvraj and they used to be very naughty and very fun-loving kids. We had amazing time with them. So I was in my room studying, and they all said, Lakshmi Shukla, a very good friend of mine, he was a minister of sports in Calcutta, Bengal. So he's a very, very good friend of mine. Lakshmi and I shared hotel rooms when we were in India camp. So I did under 16 India camp and under 19 India camp in Hyderabad and Bangalore. So we always used to be roommates. So he went on to play for India, Lakshmi, and then he became the Minister of Sports. So he said, "Oh, let's go out." And I said, "No, I have to study. I have got exam coming up." So everybody left, and I was in my room with my notebook, and I'm studying. And I was a bit tired because I came from, I think probably for a few seconds, maybe I have dozed off. My eyes. I saw suddenly someone came running into my room, grabbed my notebook, put it in the toilet and flushed it. And that was Mr. Yuvraj Singh. So Yuvraj came running Yuvraj came through the door. I could not even figure out what happened. He grabbed my book, put it in the toilet and flushed it and gone. Everything gone. That was kind of, being naughty we used to be. We used to play pranks. We used to be, those are the moments you never forget.
What was your reaction?
Oh man, I was so angry. It's angry, it's frustration. It's like, what I'm gonna do? I have got nothing to study. I said, why are you studying? Let's go out. For them it was an innocent joke. It was a prank. And it's like fooling around. But those things were so touching and so close-knit. We always, these are amazing moments we share.
And later you can have a good laugh at every time.
Every time there's a story comes up. And see, all the time, it's not just every time I speak to some of my friends, even friends in Orissa or from Karnataka or from Tamil Nadu. All my cricketing friends do ask me, why didn't you stay another couple of years? There could be an opportunity for you to get into IPL or something. I just left in 2007, just before the IPL started. But again, look, hindsight, you can't think back what could have done. That what could have I do? What should have done? That's a wrong thing to ask. At that point in time, to pursue your education or go abroad and look for a different career was the best choice I made, and I stick with it.
It suited that
Absolutely,
moment, right?
absolutely. So you have to make those calls in your life at different juncture, in different points in time of your life. You have to make those adjustment in your life, but you don't look back and say, oh, I should have waited for one more year, or I could have done this. That could have, should have is something which people should not delve on. People should say, okay, I have done this, I move forward. But see, sometimes you move forward, you take a call, you take a decision, and you fail. That's okay to fail. As I told you before, it is okay to fail if you say, I have learned something. That's important message that I want to give kids, that sports was definitely a way of life for me. It was basically something had stayed with me all the time. At the same time, sports have shaped me who I am today.
Absolutely. So, yeah, the story was also quite fun, and the way that learning with sports you had, that grew you into an actual individual, right?
Yes.
Had a lot to do. So, as you already mentioned about your coach, your mentor, that Ranji Trophy journey only we are talking about. So, I think I feel that was it very rigorous, because obviously if somebody, let's say we keep it to that context, that somebody wants to be a Ranji Trophy, player. So what do they do? What kind of adjustments do they make from the very starting?
Well, the first thing is sacrifice. You have to make a lot of sacrifices, in your life, and adjustment. How you're gonna do, nowadays it has become super competitive. You have to be super fit mentally and physically, because the demand of playing sports at the elite level has changed significantly. Then you have got all your distractions around you, your social media around you. People are always there to judge you, what you're eating, what you're doing, where you are, with whom you have seen, all that kind of thing. So you have to manage a lot of expectations from people. So I think an elite sports person have to be very focused in what they're doing. So even if you're thinking about a career in sports, make sure you get your priorities correct. You know exactly what you want to do. Get your roadmap. Have a great mentor. Have a good support system. Even when I was playing, there are times when I failed. There are times when I could not perform. I cried. I seek advice. I went to psychologist to talk about my mental well-being, and if there is something which is affecting me mentally, that I'm not being able to perform or processing something. But see, now every team have got psychiatrists and psychologists around them, so they have great support system. But I think at the same time, during my playing days, there was not much distraction around. So we had education and sports and family. That's it. We used to take our push bike and go to stadium, go to school, come back. But now there are so many other things for you to do. So I think those things are very important, that you have a good balance. You have your well-being is very important. People are talking a lot about mental health coming into every sector now, and which is very important to talk. Even mental health in sports, because of the pressure they are having to perform and be at that position. People are pushing them so much of not just to be at the top, just to maintain, because sometimes people, I always heard or learned that it is easier to go up, but it is always hard to stay at that level.
Right.
So
Consistency.
that's consistency. So I think that starts with being focused, exactly knowing your strength and weaknesses. Improve your strength and see how can you either reduce or eliminate some of your weaknesses or improve on it. Have a very good support system. And reach out. I think reaching out is important. It's no shame for people to say, I'm not well. I need help. I think that's important topic for young kids to talk about and say there are support system out there. There are a lot of resources out there to help people, but playing at the elite level is not easy. It's not easy. And just and to balance their family, their lives, livelihood, your education. There are so many moving pieces that young people or people faces nowadays, that you get distracted. But I think having a good system, having something even as simple as writing in a piece of paper and sticking on your door or somewhere, where you actually sometimes say, just slow down. Just slow down, and there are so much more in life than just going north. People should not only think about going north. People also think about people going sideways. You can also improve sideways rather than just thinking north.
Just thinking, moving ahead. Then you moved after your Ranji Trophy thing happened. After that, you moved abroad.
Yes.
So how did you keep up with your cricketing career, love for cricket there? What are the opportunities and everything? Do you still play cricket?
I am absolutely playing.
Okay.
So that's a funny story. So when the day I was about to fly out of Assam, I was quite sad, and it's like a mixed emotion. It's a mixed feeling. Am I doing it right? There are so many questions coming in my mind that, what have I done? I'm leaving my family. I'm leaving mom and dad, and
what will come next?
When I'm going to come next, what will happen? There are so many unknowns. There's so much of uncertainty. But you know what? I carried my cricket bag.
Okay.
Lot of friends, few of my friends came to the airport to see me off, and they said, "Aren't you going to do your masters? Why are you carrying your cricket bag?" I said, this is one of the things that will never go out of my life. This is a part of who I am. So I said, I don't know what, but I'm going to take my cricket gear. So I had a suitcase and I had my cricket bag with me.
That was extra.
That's extra. So I had to carry my cricket bag. So I knew I will get some opportunities to play, but I very well knew that this is something which will help me to further my education and further my life in Australia.
Okay.
So when I landed in Australia and when I was going through all the going to uni and your induction and your training and learning my ways, classes and learning the different ways of Australia, learning how to navigate, learning how to find a part-time job. I one day saw some kids playing cricket, and it was a small coaching center. I saw it on my way to uni or something. I exactly forgot where I was back then. It was back in 2007, so I forgot. But I thought I will one day jump out of the bus and go and speak to this guy who was coaching there. So one day I was brave enough and I said, let's go and talk to this guy. And I went there and I met a young fella called Lance Rudenko. And I said, I want to play cricket. And he asked me, yeah, of course. Very nice guy, very, very good friend of mine, very close friend of mine till today. And I'm very close to his family, his mom and dad. Unfortunately, dad passed away, but I'm very close to his mom and dad. And his sister, they accepted me as one of their family members. So I met this guy and I said, I want to play cricket. And he said, yes, of course. And he asked me, have you played anything? Well, I didn't want it to start the whole conversation that I played. I said, yes. And he said, what have you played? And I said, I played Ranji Trophy. And for a few seconds, he just stopped and he didn't say anything. And he said, okay, you played Ranji Trophy. And then he said, all right, when do you want to come? And I said, okay, when should I come? He said, come tomorrow or day after. He said, do you have your cricket gears and stuff? I said, yes. He said, don't worry, even if you don't have it, because at that time I didn't have my car or something. So I was traveling bus. Sometimes it's quite hard to carry your entire luggage and basically your cricket gear and your uni bags and stuff. So he said, don't worry, even if you come, you can use my cricket gear.
Yeah.
So I rocked up the very next day in a training session. It was an evening training session. Normally in Australia, people train in the evenings because they all have got lights and stuff. So it's quite advanced. Where we'll talk about the facilities cricket offers in Australia. So it was under lights, and I saw this young fella, tall young guy, bowling in the nets, and he was quite tall, quite quick. And my friend Lance, he said, do you want to bat? And I said, yeah, of course. And then I batted, and this young fella kept bowling at me, and I was okay. I was playing, and I was hitting him, and I was scoring, and I was quite. It was quite easy for me, and I was like, and then he looked at me with kind of a judgment. He said, after a very long time, he actually told me that day when you said you played Ranji Trophy, he thought I was fooling around him. Because what he thought that I'm actually bluffing. He said, I see a lot of people who come and say I played Ranji Trophy, they actually have not played anything. And this guy who was bowling, his name is Ben Cutting. He played for Australia.
Okay.
So Ben Cutting is a very good friend of mine. So Ben Cutting played for Australia. He plays IPL all the time. So he played Australia one day, and he played under T20s, and he's a regular member of IPL sides. He's played IPL, I think, 8 or 9 years. So he's a great fast bowler, great all-rounder for Australia. And it was Ben Cutting back then. And he said, you know why I asked Ben to bowl at you? I said, I just wanted to make sure that you actually who you are, what you said. And are you confident now that I am who I am? He said, yes. And since then we were he just wanted to test.
Yes,
he just wanted to test and make me look a fool out of him. He thought this guy is bluffing. This guy actually hasn't played anything.
But your game spoke.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And since then we became very good friends. Why I said this is that is my journey started with cricket in
In
Australia.
Australia, yeah.
And since then I never looked back. So
Okay.
after that he took me to a club and I played there. I played against Australia A. I was very good at playing the first couple of years, and then I went to another big club. There I played couple of years as well. See, this is what I want to tell young kids. The thing I knew at that time was sports,
Yeah.
and I sold sports as a commodity. What I mean is, when people came and said, "Do you want to come and play for our club?" I said, "Sure, give me a job." See how I changed the entire thing. I actually put that pressure on them rather than me.
Right, yeah.
So you need to understand what skills you have and how can you market.
Market, right.
I started marketing myself
Okay.
because I
From
know
your passion, it turned into a profession.
exactly. That's the reason why I said it's an amazing journey, because see how I took my cricket gear and I said, okay, now what I'm going to do is all the 15 years, 16 years of my life I learned cricket, and I have put so much of effort to play Ranji Trophy or all the age groups I have played. I've represented state from 1993 till 2007, 2006. I'm going to make use of it now. So what I did is I played. People used to come and say, "Do you want to come and play for my club or our club?" I said, "Sure, find me a job."
Yeah.
Sure, find me a job. So I completely changed the context and I said, rather than me looking for work, let them
They
look for
will
my
look
work.
for your
So
work.
then what happened was I got a lot of part-time work to support
Okay.
my education.
Wonderful.
So we became very good friends. I played with him a couple of years. I still play with him, or sometimes I play with different clubs. Right now, after I started pursuing my, we haven't spoken. And so when after I finished my masters and I started pursuing my CPA, it was quite hard and challenging to find time to train because
so to juggle.
the juggle. Because again, Australia is they are so sports motivated. Sports is a language of Australia. Everybody loves sports.
Okay.
Any sports you play, not about just cricket. You play soccer, you do swimming, or hockey, or rugby union, or AFL, Australian Football League. You talk about NRL. They are good at everything. It's a it's a huge country, but it has got only 24 million people out there. But
The scope is immense.
the scope is immense. You think about it. You just do some statistics. India has got 1.3 billion people,
right.
and Australia has got 24 million people, which is less than the population of Delhi. But the country is huge. So obviously the scope is there, but at the same time, though there are only 24 million people, the quality of sports is really, really, really high. Really high. The grounds, the facilities they have are really beautiful and amazing, and you can, I wish if I would have grown up there, imagine what I could have done.
Been a
Different thing. There are ground, there are fields out there just empty. There's hardly anyone playing because there's not many people to play. It's amazing that they have given, or the government has offered so much of facilities out there for people to come and actually stay outdoor. That's why people say Australians are very outdoor kind of people. They always want to go to hiking, or they will do camping, or they will be out there having a barbecue. But yeah, sports, sports, I said this word, sports is a way of life for me. It's not just what sports I have done. I have used sports as a leverage to go forward in life. And even the next big job I got was always through sports, because I know some networking. Honestly, in the last 16 years, I never applied for a job. It's always through my networks.
Okay.
It's always through my connection. It doesn't only happen in India, it happens across.
But that is a very wonderful quality, to market yourself,
Absolutely.
to build connections,
Absolutely.
to know people, and
Absolutely.
to use that,
Absolutely.
around
That's your skill. That is your skill. That is something which you will not learn in books.
Right.
That's something, these are called life skills. And,
Life skills,
and I
yeah.
think I have learned a lot from my mom.
Yeah.
So my mom, she's a very hardworking woman, and she always taught me all this, that son, you have to keep trying. You have to keep trying different things. One thing will, fit. Not everything will work out, but then the moment you get into that thing, the right thing you find, just work on it. So that's exactly what I did. I knew I know cricket. I love cricket. That was my passion.
That was your USP.
That's my
let's say.
USP.
Yeah.
But everyone has got that.
Yeah.
You have got something, I have got something. What you have, I don't have. What I have, you don't have.
Yeah.
However, knowing what your USP is and how you're going to market it, that's a skill you need to figure it out. It's not that I can tell you, if you said, Dada, how I will be successful something. There is no mantra to be successful. There is no mantra. Again, success is a very subjective word. I will come back. So I have used cricket to leverage and move forward.
Move forward. So it has affected your other, after also you got the job, the way you work, those learnings that you had from your sporting career.
Absolutely.
That always stayed, right?
Absolutely. Sports is, as I said before, sports is something which you learn a lot of skills out from there. Not just being a skillful, but at the same time, and especially when you play team sports, it's not about the one person, it's all together. One person cannot win an entire team or a game. It is all the 11s have to be together.
So taking the team forward together.
Taking the team forward together. Your captain might not be the best player in team. He is the person who brings everybody together. Okay, so how are you going to bring the best among all the 11? That is your skill you need. You might not be the best cricketer in the team. So the things I have learned is teamwork. The things I have learned is communication. The things I have learned is adjusting with each other.
Also the trust.
Things I have learned is trust. Things I have learned is how to manage difficult situation. These are the things, these are the soft skills that will go a long way in your career.
Career, life.
These are skills. You think you're playing sport. No, you are learning every day. You are learning every day. Not just the stories, not just the fun, not just the runs you scored, not just the wickets you have taken. These are numbers. Numbers are okay. But think about, my coach, Mr. Nawab Ali, used to always tell that I don't expect everyone to become a Sachin Tendulkar, but even if I help you to become a good human being, that is more than happy. He will be said, I am quite successful if I do that. And that's exactly played a very important part in my life and the way I construct my daily life as well. So those things have actually helped me, be truthful. Knowing your strengths and weaknesses. It's not about that I'm a good batsman, I have to be a good bowler as well. But I need to know that I am not a good bowler. It's not about, or how can I improve my bowling. Exactly same thing in your academic life or in your life, I used.
You can apply.
So all the skills, the soft skills and the skills of talking to each other, skills of figuring out how to the plans, the strategies. We used to have a team meeting before a game. The team meeting is all about a strategy. This is the roadmap. But the roadmap might change. So what is your second plan? How are you going to change your strategy when you are in a game and you plan for something and something else happening?
That presence of mind.
Exactly. These are the skills I carried from my cricketing journey and my life, and I applied them in my own life.
Wonderful. I wish I had played some sort of sports. Now I think I am missing out on a lot of lessons. But then so last thing I would like to ask is that, okay, say if somebody wants to take this journey ahead outside also, like you said, there are so many wonderful opportunities. So are there any kind of professional courses also available that they can take up in cricket? Sports?
I won't say there are absolutely there are courses available for people to pursue sports or even cultural activities, dance, drama,
theater,
vet courses, vocational training. There are so many out there. It is about you knowing what you want to do and then reaching out to the right kind of people to
Where
help
you want to play, what do you
what
want
do you
to
want to do.
aspire? Yeah.
So you need to talk, you need to find the strategy how you're going to do there, but at the same time the opportunities are limitless out there. The opportunities are limitless, and the country is looking for young kids like you to come. This is from my Australian side. I'm saying that Australia is still a very young country. As a country, Australia is still growing, but Australia has got quite rich in resources, natural resources and mineral resources. Australia is quite rich in its cultural heritage. At the same time, it has got so much to offer, and there are so much opportunities out there. You just have to come and talk to the right kind of people, and come with an approach, come with a strategy, figure out, have a mentor, talk to someone. Not now, maybe in 2 years' time. Not now. You don't have to do it now, but prepare yourself for cultural exchanges happening. Sport exchanges. You can come on exposure trip. You can come as a parent, as a young kid, a 11-year-old, a grade 11 kid or grade 12 kid. You can come on exposure trip to play sport,
meet people,
connect,
yeah.
and come and talk to university counselors. Maybe you said, okay, what will happen after a 15-day exposure trip I do? At least, even if you're not, if you say, okay, I'm playing cricket, or I'm doing swimming, or I'm doing hockey, or dance, or drama, at least that will, if you go out and seek some professional help from universities and counselors and educational experts, I think you'll get something out of it. Tomorrow you might say, okay, I want to, Dada, like you, I want to pursue education.
Yeah,
that's always a word there.
Okay. So yeah, a sea of possibilities awaits for you in sports, in cricket. So you can obviously, hop into it and just do it if you really want to. Thank you. Thank you again for your wonderful
Thanks.
words.